Hello everyone, my name is Shreya and I am a legal intern at Lexis & Company. I am pursuing BLLB Honours from Law College, Dehradun, Uttaranchal University. I am currently in 7th semester. I am very glad to have this opportunity of interning at Lexis & Company, because of which I am able to present to you guys with this video. So the purpose and topic for this video will be the administrative tribunals. This is a very long topic, thus I'll be explaining this video in different parts. So yeah, let's begin with the topic. So first we'll study what is actually administrative tribunal. You know, in administrative law, the term tribunal is used in a significant sense and refers to only the adjudicatory bodies which lie outside the sphere of the ordinary judicial system. So technically in India, the judicial powers are vested in the courts, which aims to safeguard the rights of the individuals and promotes justice. Therefore, to institute an effective system of judiciary with fewer complexities, it is important to note to make the work easier and to do it with a little bit of speed and reducing the complexity. So therefore these some courts known as administrative tribunals are created so that they can lessen the burden of the ordinary courts and provide effective justice system to the people. Thus, because there was a need to resolve such complex problems in the ordinary judicial system, such administrative tribunals or administrative courts were established. So when was the first administrative tribunal established? Before independence, the establishment of income tax appellate tribunal was the first administrative tribunal in India. However, after independence, when we saw there was a need felt for resolving administrative disputes with flexibility and speed, the objective of tribunalization was to provide specialized and speedy justice to the people. Various administrative tribunals were also established. So yeah, this is it. So when the constitution was drafted, several rights for the welfare of the individuals were guaranteed by the constitution, and the people having the right to speedy trial and specialized quality, which such rights could not be delivered by the judicial system due to the overburden of cases and appeals and the technicalities and procedure and other reasons. There was a need for the inception of administrative tribunals, which could not be ignored, and hence they were into place. So what led to the growth of the administrative tribunals? You know, first of all, in the 42nd amendment, there was introduced a part 14A was introduced, which included article 323A and 323B, which provide for various matters dealing with the administrative tribunals. It had mentioned various tribunals. Actually the jurisdiction of these tribunals, that if the case involved the various topics or the matters which the administrative tribunals would look into. So according to these provisions of the constitution, tribunals are to be organized and established in such a manner that they do not violate the integrity of the judicial system given in the constitution, which forms the basic structure. So this was done with the primary objective of excluding the jurisdiction of the high courts under article 226 and 227, except the jurisdiction of Supreme Court under article 136. So yeah, this was about its exclusion and the exclusion of some provisions. So the purpose of establishing tribunals to the exclusion of the jurisdiction of the High Court was to reduce the pendency and lower the burden of cases. Therefore, the tribunals are organized as a part of civil and criminal court system under the supremacy of the Supreme Court of India. And if we see a functional point of view, then we can say that administrative tribunal is neither an exclusively judicial body nor an absolute administrative body. So, but it is somewhere in between the two. Thus, we can say that administrative tribunal is a quasi-judicial body. So, what are the characteristics of the administrative tribunals? Administrative tribunals have a statutory origin. First, that is, they must be created by any statute. And second, they must have some features of the ordinary courts, but not all. Third is an administrative tribunal performs the quasi-judicial and the judicial functions and is bound to act judicially in every circumstances, and they are not to be adhered by the strict rules of evidence and procedures. And administrative tribunals are independent and not subject to any administrative interference in the discharge of its judicial or quasi-judicial function. That is, they are independent and not be bound by those strict procedures of the evidence and the procedures. However, in the other procedural matters, an administrative tribunal possesses the power of a court to summon witnesses, to administer oaths, and to compel the parties to produce the documents and etc. These were the procedural matters, and these tribunals are bound by the principles of natural justice, and a fair and open and impartial act is to be always the prime objective of these administrative tribunals. And the two prerogative writs of certiorari and prohibition are also available against the decisions of the administrative tribunal. So these are some of the characteristics of administrative tribunals. The next topics about it I'll be discussing in my next videos. I hope you guys have understood these points, and if you have any question, do ask me and share with me the feedback. And yeah, please also like and share this video as much as you can. So thank you everyone for watching.